What's cracking, everybody? XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon GO Battle League content. In today's video, we're taking a look at another Shoutcasting the Catch Cup, featuring a team with Skeledirge, Toxapex, and Carbink here in the Great League Catch Cup. Some really good-looking Pokemon here. They're disgustingly thick, and Skeledirge is just amazing. So as soon as I saw Skeledirge, I'm like, let's do it, man. So let's get into these battles here. We got number one. We got Feraligatr, we've got Toxapex. This is a good matchup for the Toxapex here because Toxapex really does resist everything that's not Crunch, and Crunch is not a super ideal move to be going for in a matchup like this. And the opponent doesn't seem to have it as they're going for Hydro Cannon here. The one Sludge Wave will probably do enough to knock out or come close to knocking out Feraligatr. So the opponent deciding to let it go, and they do get a last second Hydro Cannon off, but that's fine because now Carbink and Skeledirge, they don't have to deal with this thing. And that's what makes sense, right? Because if you're safe swap, I don't know what the safe swap is. I'm assuming it's Skeledirge because Skeledirge just makes more sense here. But the opponent now comes in with a Mandibuzz, and I like Rhaniero's decision not to swap here. Skeledirge does have some play, but it would be much more beneficial to get Carbink on this thing, as that is going to be the alignment you need. Now, swapping out here into the Skeledirge would make a lot more sense, but then again, you really don't need much bulk left on your Carbink, so perhaps Rhaniero's looking to maybe wait for the opponent. Waiting for the opponent to throw energy so they can get out. They bait with the Night Slash. Come on, who does that? Woo! Grow up, trainer! No! You never bait. Now now this bait makes sense. They go in a bait here and that makes sense, right? But Carbink? No. You throw the Shadow Ball at the Carbink. Goodness. The Night Slash gets shielded here. Oh, and the opponent gets the boost! Oh, everything is going wrong right now. Disarming Voice is going to get the final shield, but it doesn't really matter because the Carbink can easily just knock down whatever is in the sky here with Mandibuzz. It just drops it out of the sky, and it has a move loaded. The opponent did not build up to enough energy to have a move ready, so if Carbink can have a move when it comes out of this matchup with Mandibuzz, it means that it should have a move immediately ready to go against the Annihilape, which the Annihilape does not yet have a move ready. I don't think. I think that they swapped out too shy of the move here, but Mandibuzz unfortunately has absolutely nowhere to go against this Carbink, and the only thing that I would recommend here is, you know, swapping into the Skeledirge much sooner, going for the Moonblast to get the KO here against the Annihilape, though. This is what we're waiting for. Boom! Get out of here, you stinky monkey. All right, getting into the next battle. Got Toxapex on the lead versus Annihilape. Not a bad lead. Both Pokemon are resisting the fast moves, but the charge moves are all neutral. Opponent has a Vigoroth swap in here, and honestly, this is fine because now what you can do is you can have the Skeledirge aligned to the Annihilape. Vigoroth does not have not a whole lot of play in this matchup. Gonna straight send the Sludge Wave. The opponent may be expecting a Brine. Maybe they don't shield. But Brine, not a good move. Sludge Wave is gonna get the shield, though. Carbink now comes in. And Carbink is going to excel in a matchup like this, where the opponent is forced to go for a suboptimal non-stab Rock Throw to do any meaningful damage. And in this case, they can probably keep farming up energy and wait for the opponent to come back in with that Annihilape or whatever's in the back. And some energy on Carbink here is not going to be a bad thing. So the opponent is going to go for the Rock Slide, and the opponent is looking to stay in, maybe get farmed down completely here. No need to shield the Carbink. Carbink is a very linear Pokemon. You either win good or you lose bad. That's pretty much it. But here comes the Annihilape, now going for the cheeky Rock Slide bait. I like this a lot. The opponent likely to shield as the Carbink goes down soon. But now are they going to be able to get to it? No, he's not going to be able to get to the move, so he has to settle for the Rock Slide. Opponent probably isn't going to shield this one, however, and then just to resist the Rock Slide. Man, imagine had you gotten to the Moonblast, I don't think they would have expected it, because you don't really think that that when you have that much energy, you don't think only 3 Rock Throws is going to get you to the move. Now, we're full sending Shadow Ball in return. The opponent through theirs. Now Skeledirge is throwing its Shadow Ball, taking out the opponent. And now we've got Gligar, and this is actually going to be quite a difficult matchup here, as the opponent can go straight for a dig, or they can go for an Aerial Ace bait before the Skeledirge even gets that Shadow Ball, but they are full sending digs. I respect it. Now we're going to see the Skeledirge here go for the Shadow Ball. Will do significant damage to the Gligar. And just take it out, actually. Here comes Toxapex to finish the job, and that's a good game. There you go. Well played. All right. Getting into the next battle, we got Mantine, Battle of the Bulky Waters here. Gonna see what happens is you really can't swap out of this. Poison Jab doing a significant chunk of damage, though you can see the Mantine is clearly not having a good day today. Rolled out the wrong side of the bed, maybe got mad at somebody. Throwing water. Why are we throwing Water Pulse at a Toxapex? I mean, so these battles are done near veteran elo, so it's not like, you know, down. I mean, if you guys have been keeping track of Home Slice Henry and his madness in like the 1000 elos, like there are trainers that are down there just having fun, whatever they got, not really worried about having optimal move sets. You know, you see somebody running something like Bullet Seed Mantine with just Ice Beam, but like no, you got to have at least Aerial Ace. You have to tell me you have Aerial Ace. Is this a single move, or is this Water Pulse Ice Beam maybe for good? I don't know, but we're not judging here. It's as unusual you would expect. Most Mantines at any, competitive, elo, and I say competitive and not a way to say anything bad about anybody who's at any certain elo, because I don't try to, I don't try to, like, what's the word? I'm thinking of a word here. The word is like discriminate. That's right. We're not discriminating, but there's definitely like a certain elo bracket where you go from, the wild west to people are typically running competitive things, and then this is going to be a good game because Carbink just destroys Incineroar. So there you go. Yeah, 2479 elo. Like, you would expect, your Mantines to have an Aerial Ace and another move at this rate. So the opponent staying in on this Annihilape lead. Now this is going to be a different story here, as we're going to have to see what the opponent wants to do with what's in the back now. It's all going to come down to what's in the back, really. Now, since this is Catch Cup, you never know, right? Normally, I would expect there to be like a Lickitung or something in the back, but, since this is Catch Cup, some people may or may not have built their 17th Lickitung on their account. So it happens, but Toxapex is going to look to just absorb all the energy here, and I'm going to guess Skeledirge is going to come in now and try. No, okay, the opponent goes for the Night Slash, and this is going to be a shield situation. Did the opponent want to shield win switch? Yes, here comes the Skeledirge, looking to get that farm down. The opponent's down a shield, and in comes the Shadow Gligar. The opponent threw that a little quick. That's just an Aerial Ace. And this trainer knows it. Aerial Ace gets no shielded here. Very nice call, knowing that the opponent did not get up to 7 wing attacks to get to that dig. Going for the Disarming Voice here to look to try and get that shield off the opponent, but they decide not to shield it. This might be worth shielding and farming down, and Raniero seems to agree. He's going to go for the shield. Aerial Ace is going to get blocked and going to get that farm down. Opponent's going to have to come in with they come back in with the Annihilape. They're going to get a Disarming Voice to the face. Opponent looking to shield this up here and possibly get clapped. Now, the opponent here just did not have a charge move ready to go. So, Disarming Voice is going to KO, and the opponent has Registeel. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, say it ain't so, man. Okay. Carbink is about to have a very bad day. But there is one thing to keep in mind. Even though all of Carbink's damage is resisted here, Carbink is still doing damage. Zap Cannon is going to get unfortunately going to get the debuff here, but perhaps maybe if we can get to 2 Moonblasts on the Carbink, there's a chance. So it might come down to trying to catch a move here. We're going to see how good Raniero's counting. 2 Moonblasts, but the Rock Throws might make a difference. Going to go for the shield here on the Carbink. The opponent goes for another Zap Cannon. I'm going to have to try and catch the move here. We're going to see if Raniero's going to be able to get that. Oh, no. Oh, no. The opponent goes for the move. Is it enough? Zap Cannon's almost enough, trying to clear the debuff, but they get lock on. What? How do you get lock on down? The Carbink had plenty of HP. It had at least 2. Oh my goodness, this game. Anyway. Yeah, not much you really could have done there, I don't think. I think catching a move was the only win condition. I think that's really about it. But in the next game, we catch a really nice lead here. Opponent has a Poliwrath, and they're staying in, which is very interesting here. You would expect the opponent they must have something in the back that does not want to see this Toxapex. I reckon that it might be a fairy or something. People are running Wigglytuff in this cup because they can. Or it could be an opponent's Carbink as well. Would be a solid thing to deal with flyers for the Poliwrath. So there's definitely some things back there that it could be. So we're going to see the opponent come in with a Drifblim, and in comes the Carbink to unleash its Rock Fury upon this poor Drifblim that has decided to swap in here. Now, there goes the Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball does an okay chunk. It's not gonna get any, kaboom buttons, but it's gonna be decent. Anyway, gonna be able to get to this Rock Slide before the opponent gets their Shadow Ball just before. Very nice counting here, getting that move off. And now, unfortunately, the opponent's gonna come in with the Poliwrath, though, which is going to completely destroy this Carbink. unless the opponent throws right away, and now there's no energy to be worried about, they're going to go for the Scald. Probably doesn't knock out, but one more counter afterwards will, and that's fine. As long as the opponent doesn't abuse this thing for energy, and the opponent is going to send an Annihilape immediately. Excuse me. Now we're going to see a Brine come through, and in comes Skeledirge. Up a shield. This is a very solid win for the Skeledirge. The opponent can go for a bait if they want to here. I do believe they have enough for the Shadow Ball, so this is worth a shield 100%, but they're going to bait here for sure. There's no way. But it's like, it's always that fear. You always have to be afraid. Now, you can no-shield this for sure, but trainer's looking to go for a shield. You definitely could have no-shielded this, just in case this one boosted, right? Back-to-back Disarming Voices is reached, so there should not be any reason why we couldn't take out this Annihilate. The opponent knows it, lets it go. Gonna get the Disarming Voice here against the Poliwrath. That's going to draw the final shield. Toxapex is in the back, looking ready to wall all of the energy off of this Poliwrath. The opponent immediately throws here. This is going to be huge to get. Not only does it get rid of Skeledirge, but it also makes it so that the Toxapex can get to the Sludge Wave unopposed, because 2 charge moves probably would have knocked out. But the opponent going for the Skull, not going to be enough. The attack drop doesn't matter at this point. Sludge Wave would KO. Good game. All right, picking up a 4-1 in a row. Very nice. I thought I cut this out, but I guess not. All right, anyway, I'm a bozo. We're getting into the next set, though. Don't go anywhere. 2,524 elo. We're getting into the next set here. Getting some Altaria, some emails, and the Toxapex is rare and ready to go in this game. Carbink would definitely prefer to see this here, but unfortunately, it's going to come down to... really, it's going to come down to whether or not the opponent shields a Sludge Wave. Now, typically, and this is not a knock on this trainer whatsoever. Sometimes I even forgot to do it while I'm streaming or doing something. But if you're going to record games for your shoutcasting, or even if you're a content creator, always make sure you turn on Do Not Disturb, just to make sure that, you know, nothing accidentally pops up here. Now, thankfully, I did check these beforehand. There was no like, you know, critical information or anything in these emails, but you never know what could happen while you're, you know, trying to do stuff. So just as a general, you know, rule of thumb there, so to speak, you'd want to. Oh my goodness, is this person running Double Charm in the back? Goodness, this rock is about to have a day. Now the opponent also is going to have to deal with Toxapex in the back still, because the Toxapex is still chilling back there, and it is a very hard wall to charm. But the opponent going to let that Moonblast go and go for a last-second charge move here. I don't know if this is really worth a shield, because Skeledirge at this point could certainly get a Disarming Voice off, and that's exactly what Skeledirge is going to look to do, is start getting ahead on energy. The Altaria comes in. It's going to have to eat that Fairy charge move to the face, but we're going to see what the opponent says to come in with. They do come in with the Altaria. Incinerate still chunking. The opponent is going to... No, they're going to go for the Toxapex, try to catch a move here. They do go for the catch. It really comes down to what's in the back. Sky Attack going to do enough to knock out here, and in comes Mantine. And even though Mantine is an incredibly hard answer to a Skeledirge, not going to matter when you have this much energy and 2 shields. The opponent concedes the match because they know they've lost. Good game. Oh, there. Okay, there it was. They turned on Do Not Disturb, so they realized it's okay. It's certainly nothing against anybody who does it, but it's just, you got to be sure. You can never be too careful. You can never be too careful. The opponent had a Wigglytuff lead, and they safe swap in Poliwrath. They're absolutely broken by this little spiky thing. Opponent going to go straight for Icy Wind as well. It's not going to help them very much, as a Sludge Wave would still do enough, even if the opponent gets the debuff here. It's all going to come down to the Poison Jab farm down. But this is huge, because now, there's no way that Toxapex doesn't win this matchup. There's no way. Conceivably. Now, I could be wrong here, depending on the shields put up and not put up, but I very fully expect this Toxapex to win switch, and then Skeledirge is absolutely able to hang with the Wigglytuff in the back. But at this point, Carbink can also hang with it, as long as there's nothing opposing Carbink. I think at this point, maybe you have to let this go. I don't think this is worth a shield here anymore. No, definitely not. Coming with Skeledirge here, the opponent doing double resisted counter damage. No, they're coming in with the Carbink to get the farm down, saving Skeledirge to deal with the Wigglytuff in the back. We're going to shield up the Skull here. Make sure you drink water. It's always good for you. Gonna shield up the Scald here. Gonna look to go for the Rock Slide, but unfortunately going for it on Charge Attack priority. That means that this Carbink is gonna have to eat a Scald anyway. Throwing just one more before would have been perfect, but you know, sometimes I think the Scalds go like 8-7 on some cycles, so they may have been trying to throw on 7, not knowing that it was gonna be the 7th cycle. But it's okay. The opponent is staying in with the Wigglytuff. They're not swapping out. This is massive. What could be in the back that Wigglytuff cannot swap out of? Disarming Voice, gonna do plenty of damage. This Wigglytuff is about to have a bad day. Going for a charge move, it's probably that Icy Wind to do the debuff, but Skeledirge has to stay healthy. Then goes for the Disarming Voice for some damage here. They're gonna get farmed down. The opponent doesn't want to show what's in the back, so that's a good game. Well played. All right, getting into the next game, Dragalge. Oh my goodness. This is a core breaker and a half. Now, it's good that your Toxapex is extremely bulky, but you definitely don't want this to see Skeledirge because it would not be good. So going straight for the Sludge Wave here, the Brine is a pitiful move, and the opponent shields up, and we're going to safe swap into the Carbink. The opponent is farming up a ton of energy and is finally willing to let some of it go. They're probably just going to go for a couple of Aqua Tails here, I reckon. But this does open up the opportunity now for Toxapex to get a farm. Could let Skeledirge get a farm here in order to take out this Dragalge later in the game. Now, the opponent is staying in and continuing to throw these Aqua Tails. They really did max out on energy here. Aqua Tail number 3 is coming through, and the opponent staying in even still. Rock Slide is going to do a fairly significant amount of damage in this matchup. Rock Slide does actually knock out the Dragalge from that range, and now we're going to see them come in with a Gligar. This is not good for anything on this team. The opponent is going to overfarm. They're looking to maybe shield once, or just know that they can live a Rock Slide and farm down the Carbink. They do know they live the Rock Slide. This loaded Gligar is dangerous. Dig does super effective damage to everything left on this team. Everything in general on this team. So Toxapex is going to come in to absorb the damage. Yep, they're going to let the Dig go. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of damage. Okay, and then Skeledirge is going to come in, start applying the Incinerate damage here in this matchup. The Skeledirge can safely shield twice here. Even though it's Aerial Aces, it doesn't matter. We're going to see them go for the Disarming Voice and not go for the farm down, looking to no-charge this just a little bit, just to be able to get the damage in. But the opponent has a Charge-a-Bug in the back instead. This is actually gigantic for this Skeledirge. We can go ahead. Oh, I think you saved the shield for the Gligar. Going for the X's. The opponent's trying to bait. And Skeledirge is going to max out on energy just about before throwing the Disarming Voice. Should be able to throw a second Disarming Voice here, if not right away. Very close to being, yep, there. We're already at it. Doesn't even matter. Going to go for the Disarming Voice once again. No charging it for the lulz, I guess. Going to take out the Gligar, and that's a good game. That was scary, man. Toxapex in the next game against Annihilape yet again. Lots of Annihilape leads in this cup, I've noticed. The opponent is also staying in on this matchup, so we're going to see probably very much more of the same here. The opponent looking to go for the Shadow Wall. Toxapex probably just going to eat it for lunch and go for a Brine here to apply some damage to this Annihilape. And Skeledirge is just in the back, just hoping that whatever else is in the back is going to matter. Because honestly, Skeledirge really is the star of the show here. Because Carbink, you know, even though Carbink is very bulky, nobody wants to see a team that features Carbink. So I said we're going to feature Skeledirge instead. But Carbink is still putting in a lot of work today on this team. But Skeledirge, with those Incinerates and that coverage, I love it, Skeledirge so much. It's such a fun Pokemon. It's just, oh, the opponent goes for the double Night Slash, hoping for that bait. Now, the Skeledirge has a choice to make. It's going to let the Night Slash go through. And in comes a Crocalor. Trainer, that's the younger brother. It's sibling violence, parent-child violence. I don't know what you call this, but Shadow Ball does a ton of damage to the Crocalor, and Skeledirge wins Charge Attack priority, going for the Disarming Voice here before the Crocalor is able to fire off their own move, and they let it go, letting all that energy just go. And now it's going to come down to what's in the back here, because I believe the Annihilape was low. The opponent has Baxcalibur. Oh, and they get farmed down. But that's okay, because now Carbink gets to completely destroy this poor Baxcalibur. By the way, Baxcalibur, really neat-looking dragon. I love that. I love the design on this thing. It's just such a neat-looking Pokemon. Avalanche does do a significant amount of damage here, considering how thick Carbink is, but it's not going to matter because Baxcalibur is going to go down to the Rock Fury of Carbink. Good game. The Earthen Fury. Scrafty in the next game. Positive matchup as we're resisting the fighting type damage. Opponent comes in with a... Oh no. Opponent comes in with a Unova Stun Fist, and there is nothing that Rhaenyra can do. Trainer, You told me this was a 5-0. How are you going to overcome this thing? Okay, hold on. I'm at the edge of my seat now. This is supposed to be a 5-0 set. Spoiler alert. But maybe it gets you to keep watching because Carbink's going to come in now and sacrifice itself to Arceus. Everything. It's like, take me. Take me, dead or alive, Arceus. It's okay. The opponent... Wait, what? Why is the opponent... Why did they stop? Well, that's one way to win a game, I guess. The opponent just gives you, like, 6 moves of energy for free. That'll do it. Get into the Moonblast. Gonna knock out the Stunfisk. Now it's not a problem anymore. And here comes Poly... Oh, it's the Poliwrath, dude. Oh, no. The opponent is weak in the front and the back to Toxapex. That's unfortunate. But... the Skeledirge should be cooking here. Opponent's going to go for the Scald, but Carbink hangs on to get to this Moonblast. Moonblast is still going to do a pretty good amount of damage, being that it's super effective here. And the opponent's going to look to shield. Toxapex swaps in immediately to start getting some damage applied to this Poliwrath. The opponent has to think very carefully, but what they're going to do here is they go for the Icy Wind, but they still have to take the Sludge Wave. The opponent going for a move. Is it another Icy Wind, or is it the Scald? Because the Scald might actually knock out. They just go for Icy Wind. This is going to do some decent chip damage at this point, because it's, you know, double debuff. Not going to do a ton, but going to do enough. And then comes the Scrafty. Unfortunately for the opponent, though, they are going to... Oh my goodness, this Brian is going to do... It's going to tickle. It's like, here's a feather. I'm going to tickle you with it. Brian's going to do a little bit of damage here to the Scrafty, but Skeledirge gets to come in and just needs to land one Disarming Voice in order to take this matchup. It could no-shield one move here, I think, but Foul Play getting shielded is huge. I would, if it were me, they would have power-up punched. For sure, dude. For sure. 100%. Now, the opponent's going to shield, but now it's kind of... I mean, it's a little too late. The opponent actually has 2 Foul Plays here. They go for the Foul Play. Gonna go ahead and let that go. The counter damage from the opponent, not gonna matter. They get the full farm down, realizing that they don't need the Disarming Voice to KO the Scrafty after getting that shield, and now the opponent's gonna get clapped by the Shadow Ball, and that's gonna be a good game. Very, very fun games there. I don't know. I don't know if they win if that Ufisk doesn't give that Carbink a chance to go, but even still, a 2-4-1s with the team is still a pretty solid climb. Getting 120 point elo in this video alone is really nice. Thank you once again, Renero1981, for sending in these battles. Was a fun little debut. I love showing Skeledirge off to folks. It's always a good time when we have that Pokemon on a team. So that's gonna do it for us. We're gonna send off the Catch Cup, and that'll do it for us. We're gonna take a look at some top Great League teams coming up on Monday. Or maybe even later today, depends on what I end up doing with my upload schedule. But I am on vacation at the moment, so I have to pre-plan everything. So appreciate y'all for hanging out, watching the video with me. Hopefully we'll see you live soon. If not, we'll see you in the next video, guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.